Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Well, Abdul Muttalib had been told to dig up the well of Zamzam. He had seen a dream, and the dream had pointed out the location of the well and also the qualities of the water. Now, when he was digging up the well, he had asked his son Harith to help him, and nobody else was with him doing the digging because he had seen the dream on his own and he wanted nobody other than his own son to help him. Well, once he started the digging and water actually turned up, his right to control the water or have responsibility for the water was called into question by other Quraysh chiefs. And he had only one son with him, and when the matter had hung in the balance, there had been a little worry as to what he would do if things heated up beyond control. So it was during that time that Abdul Muttalib had made this vow to Allah that if he had 10 sons who grew to adulthood, he would sacrifice one of them. Now, he had 10 sons at last and they had all grown to adulthood, so he told them that the time has come, and immediately they acquiesced. Well, not like modern sons, if they are told by their father to even put down their device and pick up a book, they might get offended, but these sons were actually very respectful of their father and they agreed immediately. All of them wrote their names on divining arrows, and those divining arrows were taken to the keeper of Hubal, whose duty it used to be in order to draw out the lots every time something was to be decided by divining arrows. The keeper of Hubal drew out the divining arrow on which Abdullah's name was written. Incidentally, Abdullah was not just the youngest son but also the favorite son of Abdul Muttalib, and he was also a general favorite because of his personality and his inward and outward beauty. However, Abdul Muttalib had taken his course, he had made his vow to Allah, he could not back out. Now, when he took Abdullah by the hand and with a knife in his other hand, and he was taking him to the place of sacrifice, which was between the ideals of Isaf and Naila, which was incidentally also the place where they had dug up for the well of Zamzam. Well, Abdullah's mother belonged to Bani Makhzum. Bani Makhzum was a powerful tribe, and his other brothers, full brothers, were Zubair and Abu Talib. And she was also the mother of Abdul Muttalib's daughters. Well, Bani Makhzum said that we are going to give all our wealth up for ransom, but please do not sacrifice Abdullah. Somebody said that it will set up a bad precedent, so you should not do it. However, Abdul Muttalib could not allow himself to be convinced so easily. Finally, it was decided that a she diviner is going to decide what is to be done about it. The she diviner asked them what the blood money is in their area, and they said that it is 10 camels. So she said, okay, let's draw lots between the 10 camels and Abdullah. And if Abdullah's name turns up again, add 10 more camels and just keep on adding 10 camels until Abdullah's name does not come and the camels come. Well, the camels finally appeared when they had gone up to 100, but Abdul Muttalib said that no, I will not take it so easily, I am going to repeat it 3 times. And he repeated it 3 times, and every time the camels came up, and he finally realized that Allah had accepted the 100 camels in place of Abdullah. And finally, the 100 camels were sacrificed and their meat was given to all, both humans and animals. Now, because of this, since the blood money was raised up to 100 camels, and when Islam came, Islam approved of this blood money of 100 camels, this greatly reduced bloodshed. And so, the father of he who is known as mercy to all mankind became a mercy to his own people, because his obedience to his father and his father's sincerity towards his vow to Allah, it became a mercy for all their people. Bloodshed greatly reduced and peace increased because of this deterrent of 10 times the blood money that used to be there before. Now, who were the parents of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? His father, whose name was Abdullah, meaning slave of Allah, and his mother, whose name was Amina, meaning peace and security, which seems only appropriate for Rahmatul lil Alameen sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, Abdullah was very handsome because the light of Prophet was on his face. It is one thing to have very good looks. Allah gives very good looks to a lot of people, a lot of ordinary people as well. However, Abdullah had that added advantage of the light of prophethood that shone on his face, that People who knew about such things would see it immediately. And it was not surprising that many women would have wanted to marry him. There was a female soothsayer, Fatima, who offered 100 camels in return, and yet he refused because he said that I am going to marry wherever my father is going to decree. Warqa bin Nawfal, who was a Christian and also the cousin of Hazrat Khadija Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha, whom we encounter later on, he had a sister called Qital. Now, Warqa was a Christian and therefore he knew that a prophet is going to come, and he had studied all the past scriptures, and with his knowledge his sister had also known that something like that is going to happen. Now his sister had seen this light of prophethood in the face of Abdullah, and therefore she also would have liked to marry him. Now Abdul Muttalib had chosen Amina, who was the daughter of Wahab bin Abdul Munaf bin Zahra bin Kilab. They lived in Yathrib, and Wahab was the chief of Banu Zahra, which was a noble tribe, and both families were descendants of the Ismailite Arabs. It was considered an appropriate match, and at the same occasion, Abdul Muttalib himself also chose a wife who was the paternal cousin of Amina, called Hala bin Wuhail. She later had children who included Hamza and Safiya. Hamza therefore was not just the uncle of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was also his maternal cousin. The custom in those days was that after the marriage would take place, the son-in-law used to stay with his in-laws for 3 days, and so it happened Abdullah remained 3 days with his in-laws and then he returned home. Abdullah was the son of the chief of Quraysh. However, it was not considered the right thing to be indolent for any young man at that time, and therefore not long after his marriage he had to go on a trade trip to Syria. And when he went to Syria, on his way back he got ill and he decided to stay with his uncles in Yathrib. When the caravan returned to Makkah and the news was given to Abdul Muttalib that his son is ill, he got very worried, and Amina was greatly upset because she loved her husband very much. Abdul Muttalib sent his son Harith, the same son who had helped him in the digging of the well of Zamzam, to Yathrib in order to find out what had happened. When Harith reached Yathrib, he found out that Abdullah has already passed away. When the news came back, Amina was really grief-stricken, and she wrote a woeful lament in memory of her beloved husband. Abdullah, being a very young man, was not very wealthy when he passed away. He left behind only 5 camels, a few goats, a slave girl called Baraka from Abyssinia who was called Ayman after her daughter Ayman. She also suckled Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, thought of her just as he would think of his own mother. The birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, light of both worlds, Rahmatul lil Alameen. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born after the death of his father. He was born on Monday, 9th Rabiul Awwal. According to some sources, it was 12th Rabiul Awwal, and it was the 20th or 22nd of April. It was the same year as the year of the elephant. When we were discussing the year of the elephant or the Amul Fil, story of which is described in Surah Fil in the Quran Pak, we said that Allah had granted victory to the Quraysh, who were pagans at the time, over the forces of Abraha, who were Christians and therefore the Muslims of the day. The reason for that became clear not long after, when it was shown that Quraysh was the nation that was chosen for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be born. When he was born, a light surrounded his mother and it lit up the palaces of Syria. Amina sent word to Abdul Muttalib. Now Abdul Muttalib had lost his favorite son, and therefore it was a great source of happiness for him to see the son of his favorite son, and he immediately picked him up and took him to the Kaaba in order to thank Allah for this great blessing. Amina named him Ahmed according to what she had been told, and Abdul Muttalib named him Muhammad, which means the most praised person in the world. Muhammad was not a name that was kept in those days. It was not one of the names of the Arabs. It was the name that Allah had chosen for Rahmatul lil Alameen sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, Abdul Muttalib loved him so much that it is said that he had a carpet that used to be laid out in front of the house, and he would sit on it and nobody else was allowed to sit on it. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was only a little child and he used to come and sit on the carpet. When his uncles saw, they would get angry and they would tell him to get off. But when Abdul Muttalib saw that they were telling him to stop, he said that no, let this child sit on the carpet. Through one of his nurses, he was also foster brother to Hamza, who we know was his uncle as well as his maternal cousin, and also Abu Salma bin Abdul Asad.